what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for Need for Speed, which of course is the adaptation of the video game Need for Speed, if you didn't know. And it is a video game series that everybody knows has an amazing plot with great characters, and someone's dead. Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by the nuke going off outside, that's not what happened. Need for Speed has, great characters, great story, blah, blah, blah. I'm kidding. You obviously know that because Need for Speed does not have stories, does not have characters, unless you count Need for Speed to Run, which I wouldn't count because it was a terrible game. Had a story, but it was terrible. So, just like the game. So, I was looking forward to this only because I really like Aaron Paul, of course. Everybody likes Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. And actually the first trailer, not many people loved it, but I really liked that it was going for a more serious tone, which was very surprising considering it's a game about just racing cars. So it was actually going for kind of a serious tone in the first trailer, way more silly in the second trailer, but I was still looking forward to it. It looked very well shot, especially with the racing. I was excited. I don't know. I thought it could be a fun little movie. I heard early positive things, and of course the critics, destroyed it in the reviews. So what did I think of Need for Speed? Let's talk about the story. The story for Need for Speed follows Toby Marshall, played by Aaron Paul, who was framed for a crime he did not commit, or an accident I should say, that he did not commit, and of course he wants to get revenge. So 2 years he's in prison, he comes out, and of course he wants revenge against Dino Brewster, the guy who framed him, played by Dominic Cooper. He wants revenge. The only way he knows how to is to get a really fast car and drive a lot, and of course he wants to beat him at his own game because Dino Brewster's a really good racer. He's like the best out there, but he wants to beat him at his own game. That's the only way he can get revenge. And not, not punching him, not beating him up. He's, he can't do that. He'll go back to jail. So he wants to beat him at his own game by racing. So that's the story. I mean, there's more to it, but it doesn't matter. The story is extremely stupid, but you would expect that from a movie based on Need for Speed. Hell, even if it wasn't based on a video game, the title is Need for Speed. I mean, if you're expecting 12 Years a Slave from the story, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it here. You're getting a really stupid story with a lot of dumb things happening, a lot of stock characters that you won't remember later on, but you're going in expecting some fun. And I have to admit, even with the story, there is some fun dialogue here and there. There's some funny moments here and there. There's actually some, I would say, heartwarming moments, but there's some moments where you're just like, oh, okay, that's a nice little moment between two characters. I like that. You're building character. Okay, that's good, but for the most part, the characters aren't amazing. The dialogue is not amazing. Again, don't expect a Oscar caliber film here. Just go in expecting it to be what you think it's going to be. It's Need for Speed. Even if you didn't know the game, it's called Need for Speed. Come on. So while a lot of the characters are very stock and forgettable, and the dialogue's not great, and the story itself isn't amazing, it's not, I did actually enjoy the acting. I think everybody did a commendable job. Of course, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, he's actually a really good leading man here. He's really good. Most of the time, he doesn't really talk, but he does a good job with some of the emotion in there. There's a part where he has to actually break down and cry, and he actually does a pretty good job for, for a movie we don't care about the character who died. There's a character who dies in this film. Not a big spoiler. That's the reason why he goes to jail. He gets framed. So, not a big spoiler at all. They pretty much tell you straight up in the trailer. So anyway, yeah, he does a really good job here. He's actually a really good leading man, so I'm excited to see him in more films. Imogen Poots, unfortunate name for an actress. That's her name. It's like Imogen Poots. I know her last name is Poots. Very unfortunate name for a beautiful actress. I've seen her in a lot of films lately. The last movie I saw her in was That Awkward Moment, which I liked her in that movie quite a bit. And I really like her in here, especially when her and Toby Marshall, they actually spend a good amount of time in this film together. There's a whole an hour sequence where it's just them traveling to the point where Toby has to race Dominic Cooper's character. There's a whole road trip section of this film, which was pretty decent actually, considering that they were trying to build character, and the two characters have really good chemistry. The actors do a damn good job portraying their characters, and those two characters are actually memorable. Problem is, everybody else isn't. Dominic Cooper is not a great villain. I know he's a great actor. He's okay in the role, but he's not a great villain. He's very sinister, obvious sinister too. Like, I'm gonna beat you, Toby. And I just don't like him as a villain. Everybody else, Kid Cudi's in the film. I can't remember the guy, Raymond Rodriguez is in the film. Michael Keaton, who is actually memorable. I should mention him. He's actually fun. But he's just playing Michael Keaton. If you've seen a movie where he's crazy Michael Keaton and you've seen this role, you've seen it plenty of times. But anyway, Kid Cudi, Raymond Rodriguez, everybody else in the cast, for the most part, kind of forgettable, but they do their jobs for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. The acting, it's alright. It's good. It's good. But the reason why you want to go see this film, most likely, well, okay, you might want to see it because of Aaron Paul, which he's good, so you got that. But the other reason, most likely, is the cars. You want to see those cars, and let me tell you right now, they look good. But you know what? They look even better when they're racing. Oh boy. If you want to see a movie where it's extremely well shot, you know what's happening, you can tell how fast the cars are actually going, you can tell that they're actually going fast, it's well shot and you can understand what the hell's going on besides it just being jump cut, jump cut, jump cut. I don't know where the hell I am right now. This movie is extremely well shot, but those cars, they don't skimp out. Oh boy, they go fast. And that theater was shaking. My tummy started rumbling. I was like, damn, these cars are going a little too quick. And the title is perfect for this movie. I mean, even if it wasn't based on a video game, it would be perfect because, I mean, I was in Need for Speed and I got it. I got check mark in front of that title because you get the Need for Speed and oh boy, it goes quick. Those cars are fast. It's extremely well shot. It's one of the best shot, let me rephrase that. It's the most well shot racing film I've seen in quite a long time. This, along with Rushed, are two of the best racing films I've ever seen. I'll just say it, bar none. I will say it. I mean, there's plenty of other great racing movies, or just movies where there's a car chase and it's very well shot. But this movie does a damn good job. It's really, really, really well done. And I like that most of it's all practical effects. Like when a car crashes, it's not like it turns into a CG car. When it flips and it crashes, that's the car. That car is fucked. It's done. I mean, there was some CG fire, but for the most part, that car is done. So overall, I really enjoyed Need for Speed. There was a few references to the video game. There's a couple shots where you see inside the car, like if you're playing Need for Speed and you're actually in a first-person view of the car. There's a couple references like that. Hell, even the director referenced his own movie. He directed Act of Valor, and there's a part where you just see the DVD case of Act of Valor there. No reason. But because he was the director, he had to put it there. He's like, yep, I made that film too. Go watch that film. So there you go. If you don't remember Act of Valor, it's the one with the soldiers and stuff. I don't know. I didn't see it. So anyway, there you go. There's my review for Need for Speed. I quite enjoyed it. It's stupid as hell, but it's fun. I liked it. So I'm going to give it a 29. No. I'm going to give it a 28 out of 40. Thought about it. I didn't like the ending. It felt a little bit too rushed. And it was like all happy and stuff. I mean, I've seen endings like that so many times. I would have liked to see something a little different. I don't know why I was expecting it from this film, but it was a little bit too, it was too corny. There you go. There's a part with Kid Cudi at the end I didn't like. So there you go. I'm going to give it a 28 out of 40. There you go. There's my review. I quite liked it. It's not the best video game movie out there, but that's not saying much. I still think Silent Hill, the original, is better. So there you go. There's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and goodbye.